Once you've figured out that you've been with a narcissist and you start to go through the healing process, at some point you probably feel ready to move on to a new relationship. But when you do, how do you avoid getting involved with another narcissist? This is actually one of the biggest questions that I hear on this channel. So today at queenbeing.com, we're going to talk about exactly what you can do to avoid getting involved with another narcissist. Let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. Does that sound good to you? If so, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. So like we talked about yesterday, anytime you leave any relationship, it can be incredibly painful and difficult. Leaving one with a narcissist is just about always harder because you have invested so much of your time and your effort and yourself into making it work. And because they spend so much time depersonalizing you and taking away your identity during the relationship, very often you think you have nothing left if you lose that person. The worst part of this is that even when you do finally manage to start over, a lot of us find ourselves back in another one of these relationships going, I can't believe I just did this. What the heck just happened? Look, obviously no one's going to choose to be in a relationship with a narcissist, but because sometimes we're looking for the opposite of our ex or our parent or whoever was the narcissist in our lives, we end up with a different type of narcissist. We subconsciously choose another narcissist very often because in some way we are attracted to people who remind us of our parent or someone else in our lives. And there's this part of ourselves that spends our whole lives trying to sort of resolve the relationships of the past. Whether it's that or it's just because you were an empath and you tend to attract narcissists to yourself. At this time, it's time for you to learn how to stop doing that. So take a look at this.
What are the best ways to narc-proof your future love life? It's so simple, you won't even believe it, but it works. Are you ready for this? Here's what you need to do to avoid getting involved with a narcissist again in the future. Number one, you have to take your time in the relationship. Make a rule for yourself that you won't go too fast and commit too soon. For example, after I left my ex-husband, I made a rule for myself that I would not allow anyone to propose to me until we had been monogamously dating for at least 1 year. And then I decided that I'd make it a long engagement just to be safe. You can set your own rules based on your own perception of how long it took you to recognize that you were dealing with a narcissist in the first place. This can apply to literally any personal relationship and even to professional ones on certain levels. That is, you sort of maintain your guard in each type of relationship for an appropriate length of time before you assume that you can trust them. Number two, you have to stay connected to other people. In order to keep your life in balance and protect yourself from getting enmeshed with another narcissistic abuser, you really need to be careful to still actively cultivate relationships with a variety of people in your life, even and especially when you're in the beginning phases of new relationships and friendships. Do you remember how bad it felt when you were isolated from everyone by the narcissist? Well, this is the time that you need to be especially vigilant of staying connected. I don't care how in love you are, and I don't care how much you think it's your idea to stay in bed for 17 days straight and ignore your phones. Don't do it. Promise yourself that you'll have regular contact with the other important people in your life, even if you need to schedule it. Get yourself connected to a good support network and stick with them. And consider having a recovery buddy who will check in with you on a regular basis and help you remember to remain connected to your network of support and love. This will help to ensure that you don't inadvertently fall into your old patterns. This can happen before we realize it. Number three, listen to your gut. Remember when you got involved with your narcissist and you felt a little off, but couldn't quite put your finger on it? Or maybe you never quite felt comfortable in the relationship, like you might lose it at any moment. Maybe you lived in fear of being alone or of falling flat without the narcissist. This is another very important part of protecting yourself from getting involved with another narcissist. You have to listen to your gut, your heart, those feelings that creep up inside when you don't want to listen to them. It doesn't matter how exciting and amazing someone seems at first. You have to listen to your heart and to your gut. if you're going to stay safe. If something doesn't feel right, there is a reason. If you're not sure, just go back to number 1. Take your time. There's really no reason you need to rush, right? Truly, if it's truly a healthy relationship and the person you've always been waiting for your whole life, time is of no concern. Just take your time getting to know each other and enjoy the process. It can be deliciously satisfying.
Just remember that as you struggle, if you're going through this now, if you're struggling through this now, remember this. It is natural as a human being for you to think that if there's a problem in your relationship, you can work harder to fix it by working harder at the relationship. And that, as empaths, that's what we want to do. We tend to do that. We tell our partners what they should do differently. We try to do what they want. But ultimately, even though we feel a certain amount of familiarity in a relationship, a certain amount of comfort just because it's what we know, our needs are not being met. We find ourselves feeling increasingly unhappy in relationships with narcissists for good reason. The fact is that our struggle to make this person love and accept us isn't working, and it won't work, and it's not about us, it's about that person. But while we keep trying to hang on to the relationship, we know deep down that whatever it is that we are getting from this person really isn't enough, and that's why we feel unhappy. Ultimately, what it comes down to is that it's the struggle for love. It's the struggle to be loved. It's the struggle for finding some sort of peace in love that we will never find with this person that makes us unhappy. Our need for love, our need for attention, affection, acceptance, this is important. All of us need those things. Every single person on the planet. And that's why we try to get into romantic relationships. That's what those are for, in part. But we don't have to accept crumbs. We don't have to accept less than we deserve. And when we can start to love ourselves in the way that we deserve to be loved, we can start to set boundaries and set standards for ourselves and not accept less than we deserve. So my friend, if you do nothing else for yourself this year in 2018, I want you to do this. Raise your standards. Set your boundaries. Know who you are and love yourself enough to enforce them. This brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, what would you add to my list of things that you can do and watch for to avoid becoming involved with a narcissist again? Leave your thoughts and your experiences in the comments below and let another survivor know what you think would work, because you never know who you can help. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you soon.
It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.